All right, a few stories on the Pentagon before we wrap up here. The first is this great article written up by Nit Turse at the Quincy Institute. Fun fact: U.S. Special Ops are in 33 of 44 countries in Europe today. And he's just going over in this article all the drills that the U.S. has going on. Albania, Austria, Belgium, Bosnia, Bulgaria, Croatia, Cyprus, Czech Republic, Denmark, Estonia, France, Georgia, Germany, Greece, Hungary, Italy, Kosovo, Latvia, Lithuania, Moldova, Montenegro, the Netherlands, Norway, Poland, Romania, Serbia, Slovenia, Spain, Sweden, Switzerland, Ukraine, and the UK. That's a hell of a list of countries to have troops deployed into. These are SEALs, Green Berets, top tier special operations forces. And, just when you remember, and actually, referencing back to the first thing we talked about in today's show, the tensions in Eastern Europe, so many of these countries are in Eastern Europe. And this does add to the tensions that the U.S. has with Russia, with Belarus, and stuff. All right. Now let's look at the Army wanting more space tech. This is a interesting article that I found where the Army has signed a contract with Capella Space, and they are looking to produce different kind of technologies that will benefit U.S. soldiers when they put them in space. And so I guess this could be air and missile defense, long range precision missiles. So actually, putting weapons in space, GPS type systems, radar, like if you have a satellite, you could have constant monitoring of over the troops overhead, right? Kind of like drone technology, except you probably don't have to worry quite as much about running out of fuel all the time. And if you have enough satellites, this monitoring, I guess, could be essentially constant. And so this is one of the things going on. Very interesting. They say the contract is hundreds of thousands of dollars, and I expect it to continue to increase, although there's not a lot of actual details in the article about how much the U.S. Army will be paying in for what technology. We also have the general who is one of the commands of the National Guard, General Dan Hokanson, telling that he is watching closely and involved in the debate to create a space national guard that would give the Space Force its own dedicated national guard. And so this is an interesting idea being pushed forward. I guess they say here they estimate that it'll cost $500 million a year to do it this way. I'm guessing it'll be inefficient and a boondoggling and just, extra reasons for military spending. The Pentagon is giving Boeing, the company that just admitted that it can't keep civilian planes in the air, a $136 million contract for 4 Chinook CH-47 Block 2 helicopters. Now, one of the things to note about these helicopters is they're already missing the initial specs that the Pentagon was hoping for. They were supposed to carry these new advanced rotor blades that would be able to lift an additional, I think, 1,500 pounds each. So I think that would be 3,000 total pounds of load on these helicopters. However, the development for the rotor blades has not happened, and so they're just ordering older and less advanced versions of these aircraft. So Veterans Day was yesterday, and Biden gave a speech, and most of it was just blowing smoke, but maybe some a little bit of good news to wrap up today's show on, and that is Biden said that he ordered his administration to provide better medical treatment for veterans exposed to toxic air and to study the diseases they may have contracted while serving. And so what he's talking here is the burn pits that the U.S. had across Iraq and Afghanistan during the wars there. I'm sure the number of Iraqis and Afghans who have suffered from these burn pits is even higher than the U.S. troops, but we've had hundreds, if not thousands, of U.S. troops develop crazy cancers and die because they were essentially throwing old munitions, body parts, medical waste, let's see, like tires, military equipment of all kinds into big pits, throwing a bunch of jet fuel on it and setting it on fire. It would be like the military base in the town of Springfield from The Simpsons, and everybody's right by the giant burning tower, tire fire, and wondering why they're catching cancer and everything like that. So the U.S. has essentially done nothing for this for 15 years, and now we have Joe Biden, who seems to only care because his son was likely impacted by this. Beau Biden, not Hunter. This isn't the cause of his crack addiction, but Beau Biden, who was a more reputable type of guy and likely kind of would have been the heir to the Biden name had he not been killed by an aggressive brain cancer that could have potentially been linked bad to the burn pits. And so very interesting. And they actually have quoted in this article Biden saying, because of the exposure to burn pits, in my view, I can't prove it yet, he came back with stage 4. I don't want to try to pronounce the name of the cancer. It's a stage 4 cancer. It was some kind of brain cancer, I think, that he had. And so Biden actually looking to increase this is a good thing. Like, the suffering that these vets are undergoing is unfair. Hopefully, the U.S. would also look at providing some sort of compensation to the Afghans and Iraqis who were exposed to these burn pits as well. That would be very important. And also maybe looking into, especially, a lot of these were young men, right? Not that there weren't U.S. women over there, but I'm guessing not a huge number of them were pregnant. Whereas, for the Iraqi women who are around this and were pregnant, potential birth defects or something like that, lifelong conditions that Iraqis will suffer under because of these burn pits, and also holding the U.S. companies who profited off of these burn pits, the ones who got the contracts to roll them out, financially accountable for running these burn pits the way they did, and taking all the money back the U.S. government paid, at the very least, if not actually, making them pay out to the veterans and their families as well, those who have died and been exposed here. So, it is kind of shameful the way Biden did it, unrolling it in this propaganda of Veterans Day. He should just, the first day he walks into office, signs an executive order on this and, gets the ball rolling, pushes forward in all of his, defense bills and spending bills and everything like that. But we haven't seen any of that. And, it does give me a little bit less hope that this is going to be a serious measure in the Biden administration to actually get these young men care. And very disappointing that he's only really interested in caring for the American victims of these burn pits. But nonetheless, it was a little bit of a bright thing to end the show for the week on, because I know it's almost always bad news, guys. All right, thank you so much for listening. Continue to share, support the show in any way you can, and I'll be back with more shows next week. Thanks, everyone.